So is this the first response that you got? First response? So questionnaire is basically a set of questions that are put forward to the respondents and their responses are recorded. Okay. Now, everything that we are seeing on the left is what is called a variable, right? These all the things are variables. What is a variable? What is a variable? Huh? That is not constant. Wonderful. What is a variable? Huh? Come, you were close. Someone said something? Yeah, it's actually, it's a characteristics of an item or an individual. That is what variable is. And let us quickly review that. How many types of variables are there? Is this visible? Okay. So turn on the light. There are mainly two types of variable. One is discrete and continuous. Okay, let me write in this way. Quantitative and qualitative. Now, these quantitative variables can be divided into two categories. What are they? Discrete and continuous. And this qualitative? Ordinal and nominal. What is the difference between these two? So what is the difference between these two things, discrete variables and continuous variables? Discrete can take fraction, discrete cannot take fraction. Everyone agrees to that? Everyone agrees to that? Okay, fine. Say that I am taking a MCQ test. MCQ test, okay. Multiple choice questions. So that if there is a correct answer, someone will get +3. If there is a wrong answer, I will deduct 1.5 from there. Okay. And there are total of 30 questions. Or say that's 10 questions. What is the maximum marks that can be obtained from here, from this test? 30 is maximum. What is the minimum marks that can be obtained from here? Minimum, all mistakes, -15. Okay. Now just randomly say some of the marks that can possibly be scored in this test. 3, 0, 30. Can someone score 12.5? Okay. Can someone score -10.5? Scored, right? So and so on. This is a discrete data or a continuous data? Discrete. How many says that this is a discrete data? 1. Yes, not 10 students. Say that there are a number of students. Okay. Say there are 100 students. Okay. And we have 100 marks in this set. I just want to understand that whether this variable that we have, this variable is nothing but score. Score is a variable, and these are the values that the score variable is taking. what I want to understand is that whether this variable score is discrete or continuous. I know that this is a numerical variable, quantitative variable. It's continuous because it's taking fractions. It's continuous, everyone, it's continuous? Continuous. Reason? It's taking fractions. Okay, so the definition of continuous variable does not go like this. Continuous variable is a variable that can take any values within the range. Now the range is minus 15 to 30, right? This is the range of this score. Can this variable score take any value within the range? Can it take a value, say 10.99? Can it take? It cannot, right? Can it take a value 12.75? It cannot, right? So it is not able to take all the values within the range. So restricting itself to some specific values, and therefore this is not continuous. This is discrete. Okay. So you can take it down if you want. Otherwise, I will just. Written? Okay, so I clear the board, huh? Now I am going to draw a small data set, a very small data set, okay. We have one variable over here, say age. We have BMI, which is body mass index. We have income, and we have, say, name. So we have how many variables in the data set? 3? We have 4 variables. Name also varies, right? Now I will come to you one by one. Say this age, is it this quantitative, right? These 3 are quantitative and this one is qualitative. This age, whether it belongs to discrete or continuous? Okay, so age is discrete. So BMI belongs continuous, right? Fractions. Okay. Income? Continuous? Discrete? Income? How many of you say continuous? How many of you say that income is continuous? You say continuous, okay. You also say continuous. You also say continuous. I get only 3. I go with the majority. So income is discrete. Huh? Okay. Why? Any number in that range, right? So let's consider income. Okay. Okay, this is income. What can be the possible range of income? The possible range for income? Come on, what can be the minimum value of the income? 0. 0, right? Can it be negative? No. So its minimum value is 0. And the maximum value? Okay, so let's take it 0 to infinity. So income ranges between 0 and infinity. Now tell me that can income take any value within this range? It can, right? Therefore income is not discrete, it's continuous. Because it can take any value, just name a value in this range, and income can take that value, right? Okay. So let's take age. So age, what is the possible range of this variable age? 0 to? Now let's talk about age of human. Okay, so we will restrict to somewhere. Huh? 150, 80, 90? Huh? Doctor is there. So he's 120? Okay, 120, fine. Let's make it 120. Can age take any value within this range? Any value, right? So it is again not discrete, it is continuous. The reason why I am pointing this out is that often we make mistake when we perceive information. Since the informations are not given in decimals, we often pretend that we know that this is discrete. Okay. But whether a variable will be discrete or continuous depends on the nature of the variable. Okay, not what values it is taking. Maybe it is taking 28 over here, but maybe in some data age can be represented as 28.5. In income it can be, right? 25.3 thousand. Okay, not a big deal. It can be. It can be 33.9. It can be. Okay. So again, the nature of the variable is not determined by whether it is taking fractional values or not, whether it is taking integer values or not. It depends on the nature. To identify the nature of the variables, first step is to identify the range of the variables. Then ask yourself the question whether that variable can take any values within the range or not. If it can, then that is definitely a continuous variable. Otherwise, it is discrete. Okay. So now this point is clear, right? I'm clearing this? Huh? Okay. Now, let's come to two other measures that we talked about, nominal and ordinal. We had a variable name over there, that was qualitative. Okay. It's nominal or ordinal? It's nominal data or ordinal? Nominal, right? Huh? Okay. So name is a nominal. Can you give me an example of an ordinal variable? Rank given for different team. Anything else? Measuring the satisfaction level of a particular product. It's very unsatisfied, satisfied, very, very satisfied. It's ordered. Right? Anything else? Another example of nominal variable? Characters. Okay, just give elaborate it. Gender is nominal. Yeah. Internet providers. It can be ACT, it can be BBNL, it can be there are many, right, in Bangalore. Ticona. The type of the cars. Okay, whether it's Audi, whether it's BMW, ambassadors. So these are all nominal variables. And there is something, another measures called scale. Heard about this scale? Yeah, it's basically a measurement for variables. It's a measures of variables, and there are two types of scales. Two types of scales. What are they? Interval and ratio scale. Very good. So we have interval and ratio. Now this is the definitions that are given in the books are very peculiar to understand or distinguish between these two types of measures. It's very difficult. Yeah, it's come on the scales only. It's the scales of measurements, nominal and ordinal. So I will tell that what the books are saying about interval scales. Interval scales are ordinal scales. Okay, it's ordered, right? 1 comes below 2. 1.75 comes below 2. So it's ordered, okay? So it's an ordinal scale where differencing has got meanings, but multiples does not have. This is what is said in the book. Okay. The difference, I will write it down. The difference got meaning but not the multiples. Okay. And the ratio, the way they say is that the multiples got, this is also ordinal, okay, the ratio scale. Again 1 comes below 2, 5 comes below 10. Multiples got meaning. I am sure this is unclear. This is unclear, right? I didn't understand in the first time. This is unclear. Okay. So the next definition that they give to make things simpler is this, that interval scale do not have true 0 and they have true 0, or 0 is meaningful. Let's have true 0. This means that 0 is meaningful. Still unclear, right? Huh? I will give an example. The second point will be can be very easily understood. Consider temperature. 0 degrees Celsius. This is 0 that they are talking about, right? Does 0 degrees Celsius means absence of temperature? Does it mean 0 degrees Celsius means temperature is absent? No. So 0 doesn't have any meaning. It's arbitrary. Consider 0 Kelvin. Are you aware of Kelvin scale? Huh? Kelvin? 0 Kelvin means it's actually the absence of everything. 0 Kelvin is a state where everything is absent. Okay, we, you, everything is absent. Okay, so this is a ratio scale. So it has two 0. Height equal to 0, meaning what? Absence of height. Okay. So income equals to 0, indicating what? Absence of income, right? Absence of income. So 0 is meaningful over here. So this belongs to ratio. This also belongs to ratio. But this is interval. Now my question goes to you, that how can you relate these two things? Well, the second definition is making things more understandable for your identification of ratio or interval scale measurements, right? Okay, once you can identify the variable and once you point out the 0 value of the variable, okay, and if the 0 is meaningful, then it's ratio, simple. If the 0 is not meaningful, arbitrary, then it's interval. Let's take up another example, profit. Can profit be negative? Negative profit means what? Loss. So profit can be negative. So we are drawing the scales where profit is 0. It doesn't mean the absence of something, absence of profit. Anyway, also means the absence of profit also. Okay, so it entire thing depends on your interpretation. So negative values means loss, and then positive values means profit, right? Now what I want to do is that I want to relate these two things. Okay, so something is getting that difference got meaning but the multiple does not, and they're saying the multiples got meaning, and then they're coming down to true 0, not true 0 things, something very confusing. I'll just rub this and I will come to a very clear explanations of it. Let's take length. Length is a variable. What type of variable is it? Discrete, continuous. It's a continuous variable. Length in centimeter. Okay. Length starts from 0. So let us draw a line segment of 5 centimeter. So this interval length 5 centimeter. Okay. Let us extend it by another 5 centimeter and we come down to 10 centimeter. So this entire interval length 10 centimeter. Right? Can we say that this line segment, the bigger line segment, is exactly 2 times the smaller line segment? We can say, right? So 10 centimeter is equal to 2 times the 5 centimeter. And this length is measured in which scale? Ratio or interval? Is it identifiable? Length starts from 0. 0 means absence of length. Right? So it's a ratio scale. We can find that this bigger line segment is twice the smaller line segment. So multiple has got a clear meaning. That's what we talked about ratio. Let us take temperature. In degrees Celsius. And instead of 5 centimeter, say this is 5 degrees Celsius and this is 10 degrees Celsius. So this interval length 5 degrees Celsius and this interval length 10 degrees Celsius. Can we still say that this 10 degrees Celsius is 2 times the 5 degrees Celsius? You're saying what this guy is saying. It's exactly that. It means 10 is 2 times the 5. Right? It's very confusing. Now, the temperature doesn't start from 0. It goes on beyond. See, it's minus 273. Do you still say that this length is 2 times this length? It's not, right? This length is not twice as this length. Are you getting the point? But the difference got the meaning. If this difference is 5 degrees Celsius, then this difference is also 5 degrees Celsius. This makes sense. But I will have some problem to say that 10 degrees Celsius is 2 times of 5 degrees Celsius. Because when we are saying we are comparing it with a dimension. So dimension means length. Okay, it's single dimension means a length. Okay, so this length is not 2 times of this length. Because temperature doesn't start at 0 degrees Celsius. And therefore this is not ratio, this is interval. This is clear? Any doubts, any questions? This part usually creates the most problem. Done, so we move on. Okay. Now, I want all of you to look at the questionnaire very carefully, and we are going to record these values in SPSS. Okay. Why I talked about variables for so long? Because you need to make SPSS understand first that what variable you are dealing with. Okay, so fortunately or unfortunately, SPSS cannot alone do it. You need to make SPSS understand that this is the type of the variables you are dealing with. Okay. Now on the side of the first questionnaire, I want you to write down with a pencil that what type of variable is this? Name. What type of variable?
Nominal.
Nominal. Clear. Roll number? Roll number? Nominal? Numeric? Ordinal, it's ordinal. Okay, so it's all numeric variables or ordinal variables? Ratio, scales, intervals, all ordinal. Can we take it numeric variable? We can, right? In SPSS, this quantitative variable is called numeric Okay, and it has ordinal, and I will come to that. But first focus on this. Now, this father's highest educations. What type of variable is this? Okay. So, how many of you are saying this is ordinal? Ordinal. Okay. So, how many of you are saying that this is? You are saying ordinal? Rest. How many of you are saying that I don't know? It's ordinal. This father's highest education, schools, graduation, post-graduation. So ordinal or nominal? It is an ordinal variable, right? It is ordered. First comes schools, then comes graduation, then comes post-graduation. So this is ordered, right? Okay. But see, we encoded it as 4. And this 4 doesn't have any meaning. Means 4 plus 1, 5 doesn't mean something else. Okay, or 4 minus 1, 3 doesn't mean that, okay, someone was in PhD and it has gone down to postgraduate. Okay, so domain of further education: physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, commerce, arts, language. What type of variable is this? Domain is ordinal. How many of you are saying nominal? Okay. How many of you are saying ordinal? Okay, so it belongs to 2 categories. You are saying ordinal. Okay. So which one will come first, science or commerce? We do not have an order over here, right? So that is nominal. Okay. So we do not have ranking for subjects or domains. Mother's highest education is same. Okay. Let's go down. Average marks of mathematics in class 1 to 5 in percentages. Ordinal? Ordinal? Quantitative ordinal, right? So this is discrete or continuous? Which scale? Continuous. Yeah, percentage is continuous. Percentage can take any value, but we need to think that whether you can allot any values to the for this or not. Okay, what percentages can definitely take any values, especially when you're doing average of 5s, right? It is continuous. Which scale? Interval or ratio? Ratio. How many are saying ratio? 1, 2, 3. Ratio. Rest are saying intervals. Consider 0%. What is the meaning of 0%? Does it have a true meaning? 0% meaning?